In 2005, a Chinese general was reported to have said that China should consider using biological weapons against the United States. The general also reportedly said that China could use Taiwan as a distraction to carry out the attack. These alarming remarks have caused concern in both the US and Taiwan, and have raised questions about China's military objectives. According to the report, the general suggested that China should consider using bioweapons in a potential conflict with the US. He argued that such weapons could be more effective than traditional weapons, as they could cause widespread panic and disrupt the US military's ability to respond. The general also reportedly suggested that China could use Taiwan as a distraction to carry out the attack. He suggested that if China were to launch an attack on Taiwan, the US would be forced to respond, thereby diverting attention away from any bioweapon attack. If China were to follow through with this plan, the consequences could be catastrophic. The use of biological weapons is prohibited under international law, and any such attack would be considered a serious violation of human rights. It could also lead to a major military conflict between the US and China, with devastating consequences for both countries. The general's remarks have sparked concern in the US and Taiwan, with many calling for China to clarify its military objectives. Some have even called for sanctions against China, arguing that such remarks are a clear violation of international law. As tensions between the US and China continue to rise, it is clear that the use of biological weapons is a serious concern. Both countries must work together to prevent such an attack from taking place, and to ensure that international law is upheld at all times. This is that speech. Western countries established colonies all around the world, therefore giving themselves an advantage on the issue of living space. To solve this problem, we must lead the Chinese people into going outside of China, so that they can develop outside of China. Only countries like the United States, Canada, and Australia have the vast land to serve our need for mass colonization. Therefore, solving the issue of America is the key to solving all other issues. In the long run, the relationship of China and the United States is one of a life and death struggle. Only by using special means to clean up America will we be able to lead the Chinese people there. Only by using non-destructive weapons that can kill many people will we be able to reserve America for ourselves. There has been rapid development of modern biological technology, and new bioweapons have been invented one after another. Of course, we have not been idle. In the past years we have seized the opportunity to master weapons of this kind. We are capable of achieving our purpose of cleaning up America all of a sudden. When Comrade Xiaoping was still with us, the party Central Committee had the perspicacity to make the right decision not to develop aircraft carrier groups and focused instead on developing lethal weapons that can eliminate mass populations of the enemy country. Biological weapons are unprecedented in their ruthlessness, but if the Americans do not die, then the Chinese have to die. If the Chinese people are strapped to the present land, a total societal collapse is bound to take place. According to the computations of the author of Yellow Peril, more than half of the Chinese will die, and that figure would be more than 800 million people. Just after the liberation, our Yellow Land supported nearly 500 million people, while today the official figure of the population is more than 1.3 billion. This Yellow Land has reached the limit of its capacity. One day, who knows how soon it will come, the great collapse will occur any time and more than half of the population will have to go. It is indeed brutal to kill 1 or 200 million Americans. But that is the only path that will secure a Chinese century, a century in which the CCP leads the world. We, as revolutionary humanitarians, do not want deaths, but if history confronts us with a choice between deaths of Chinese and those of Americans, we'd have to pick the latter, as, for us, it is more important to safeguard the lives of the Chinese people and the life of our party. The last problem I want to talk about is of firmly seizing the preparations for military battle. The Central Committee believes, as long as we resolve the United States problem at one blow, our domestic problems will all be readily solved. Therefore, our military battle preparation appears to aim at Taiwan, but in fact is aimed at the United States, and the preparation is far beyond the scope of attacking aircraft carriers or satellites. Marxism pointed out that violence is the midwife for the birth of the new society. Therefore, war is the midwife for the birth of China's century.